keep it more on this side of the body. A perfect example. Don't put this on YouTube, okay? It's a great Venus. She probably has one of the better first serve because she's tall and long and she has long limbs and she can hit it 120, but then explain how she can hit her second serve 70. There's never been a bigger discrepancy in a first and second serve in the history of women's tennis. It's like, wow, she has an amazing first serve, but it's because of her body, and she just throws it up and has a loose arm. But the mechanics, she's not only all the way over here, which is wrong, all right, she puts it in there too soon. And that's what I want to talk about right now. Pay attention, because this isn't going to make sense to the little ones. This doesn't make sense to 95% of people that teach tennis, because it happens so quickly, the human eye can't see it. Unless they've seen it at 400 frames a second, all right, first off, they don't know about it, or they're not looking for it, or they don't understand the concept. They're just going to say, toss the ball, bend your knees, snap your wrist, great job, whatever. Those are all good pointers. But here's what this is about. Pay attention, because this is going to be tricky. Biomechanically, that means how this thing should happen. The legs should drive the racket into the bat. So I'm going to say it again. The leg drive, the driving of the legs, initiate the racket speed. Pay attention, because I know everybody's confused. And I've been speaking in front of 500 coaches, and they're going, I'm not real sure what you're saying. So I got to explain it. Watch. When the racket, remember how I said you're going to toss, bend, and tilt, and you get in the power position. You're going to toss, bend, and tilt, and you get in the power position. Now, okay, as the racket comes in, see how the racket's coming in? Remember what I said, we're going to toss, bend, and tilt. Say, now I'm going to go hit the ball. Everybody ready? As this starts to go towards my back, you see where it's at? I got the 90-degree angle. My racket's going to start to go. The minute the racket starts to come this way, the legs go the other way. It's what we call, it's counterintuitive. I know that doesn't make sense. It's going to make you go more dynamic. What happens is this. As the racket, watch, as my racket starts to come in, my legs drive up to the target. And that makes the racket go, it makes the racket go in and out quicker. It's like hitting a ground stroke. Watch. I wouldn't hit a ground stroke like this. This is what you see with club players. They put the racket down, and the legs and racket come up together, and that's wrong. None of you guys do this. The older kids don't go like this. They don't go. So you don't play like that. You play like that. See, as the racket goes down, the legs are coming up, and that creates this to go faster. It's like a golf swing. Same thing, like a baseball hit. It's the same thing on the serve, except you're serving from you're tossing the ball here. So look, as the racket goes this way, the legs drive the other way, and that makes this go in and out and up faster. Here's what most all of you do. And that's why we got some of you starting from here, or that's why we teach you guys to hesitate. That's why we want you to hesitate. There's a higher probability, or there's a higher percentage that you might pull this off if you understand the timing. See, we do this as a corrective technique. Do I want you to hesitate? Yeah, if you have to, but as a learning tool, 100% the way to go. Because everybody leaks. What I mean by leak, people get in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Some people are all the way here before their leg even drives. The great Venus is like this, okay? She's all the way down, and her racket's all the way over here, and then she comes up. Now, you can still get away with it and get power on the first serve, but instead of 120, she could have hit 140. She could have had her second serve, instead of 70, she could have had 110. Because you can't teach 6'1", 155 pounds, and long arms. I mean, so just because someone's a pro doesn't mean it's right. Okay, they could have been a lot better too. Serena, the minute the racket starts to come in, her legs come up. Totally different. Totally different. There's some other things, but I don't want to get on that thing. But the bottom line is this. When you hesitate, there's a better chance that the legs will drive the racket. See, the legs have to go first. If I had a lot of you guys throw a ball, if I had you throw a ball, what do you think would be the first thing that moves? What? T-shirt. Did you know that? Or is that a lucky guess? That's awesome. None of you guys realize if I had you throw a ball, I guarantee the first thing that moves is your leg and hip. You're not going to go like this. You're going to go like this. See, this would move first. But in tennis, because your arm is twice as long, because you have a racket. You don't feel this this doesn't happen with a football or a baseball or any type of throwing action, because you're not using another lever. You got the racket. So when you wind up the racket has a tendency to leak. It gets in there. Even that's too close. If I drive my legs now, it will still be good. Probably lose 8 to 10 miles of power. 15, 20. But I can still hit it 120. I can still hit it hard. If you practice anything enough, you can perfect crummy, but it's still crummy. So the best way to do it is this. We would like you to start right here. You're going to toss, bend, tilt. The first thing that goes is what? Legs. Okay, watch. The legs drive the racket into the bat. Now, tell me which serve is right and wrong. I'm going to do 2 serves, okay? I'm going to do 2 serves, okay? There's the first one, okay? There's the second one. What? Which one's wrong?
The first.
Why?
Because close racket back with me.
Okay, good. So now you guys are a good coach. I want you to be a good player. So now you have to do that. See, you knew what, and I'm just saying, if I served the ball and had a radar gun, I guarantee the speed would have been dramatically different. Just because of that. The legs are supposed to drive the racket. This is the #1 mistake around the world. To the point where I'm even telling you, girls on the pro tour are wrong. I'm just telling you what this happens all the time. And one final thought before we call it quits. There's a girl over at US State. She was #1 in the nation, and the girl's 18th. And all the national coaches said they wanted me to look at her serve. So I looked at her serve, and they said she never lands in the court. She is pretty big kid. She's like 5'11", 6 feet, probably 150. Okay, she's big, strong. She can't jump in the court. And they said, well, and she never reaches up. And for her second serve, there's no power on it. So they're all telling me all the problems. And they're telling me, use your legs more, jump into the court more, da-da-da. They're saying all this stuff. So I said, I want you to try something. I want you to stand like this. Okay, and she's already #1 in the nation. So, and she's 18. And, she thinks she's probably going to win Wimbledon in her own mind, but at the end of the day, she didn't want to do it. She didn't want to change her feet. And so I said, listen, this is why there's junior tennis, there's college tennis, there's pro tennis, and then there's the top. First thing you got to change, forget your feet, you got to change your attitude. If you're not willing to experiment, or you're not willing to listen to people that know a lot more than you do, how are you going to get better? You don't want to keep doing the same thing for 8 years. Tweak your feet. She didn't want to change her feet. And so they said, just stand the way he wants you to. So I changed her feet, and I said, I want you to start right here.